Hey guys, I'm Chris the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the channel. Episode 33, we're going to move this shelf. We emptied all the manuals off it last week. So I'm going to move it right now and we're going to see what's in that mysterious cupboard. Now I'm pretty sure it's more car manuals. Let's see if we can get this out of the road without making too much noise. And I'm not going to dwell on car manuals at the moment, but I want to see what sort there is because we've been through a whole lot of Nissan ones and I've got people wanting to buy more of them. Okay, the big reveal. This has been closed up for, I reckon, best part of 10 years. And you saw all the stuff that was in front of it. Oh, we've got something down here. Oh, that's a pipe threader. Okay, what's in this cabinet? Yep, look at that. Just the odd manual. They're neatly stacked. We have a lot of Ford stuff. That's all Ford Explorer. Bit of aftermarket stuff there. Mondeo is Ford. Don't know what's in here. And down the bottom, oh, there might be more Nissan stuff. I better pull some of this out and see because I'm going to stick with the Nissan stuff until I get it all cleared up. But we'll probably leave that till the next episode. I'll have a bit of a rummage when no one's looking. Coco's with me today because she was barking at the gardener at home, so I had to bring her to work. Let's get those boxes up the top. I think I'll get those. Oh, there might be more manuals. I better check those off camera. We've got some artwork to do, so perhaps we'll take that through to the counter, have a look at that. Oh, we have a tub of books here. They're not car manuals, they're all magazines. I'll take them through as well. We'll have a look at those and the artwork, I think. Okay, we'll have a quick peek down here. Electronic engine management manual. I think it's probably for workshop equipment. Walker catalogue. Oh, there's some Gregory's manuals here. Commodore. More Commodore. Hydraulic PBR. That's all Ford manuals. Yeah, they're all Ford stuff. Lots of Ford stuff. Well, that should sell okay. What are these coloured ones down here? Falcon Fairlane repair manual. Not sure what year. Oh, there's a Datsun, but that's an aftermarket one. We might as well keep that out. EF Falcon. Now these coloured ones I wanted to get to. Courier. Oh, there you go. More Ford stuff. Econovan. Ranger. I did not know I had so many Ford manuals. I knew there was some. What's in this lot? We have Laser, Telstar, Laser. I used to drive a Laser. A KA, that's a Laser as well. So some genuine Ford ones. Quite a lot actually. These are all Laser. Ford Transit. Okay, that's enough. Looks like I'm going to flood the market with Ford stuff. Okay, Coco's having a fossick around. There's not much room to move. I'm going to pack them back in there for now, but I am keen to process them all. I'm sure you guys don't want to see 4 or 5 videos in a row on Ford manuals, but I'll get to one video on it shortly. These are my Nissan ones that I still have to sort out, but I have been selling a lot, both through YouTube. Thank you for my subscribers that have bought them, and also through Facebook. So that's working really well. I have some on eBay. They've got some interest, but no bids as yet. Okay, we'll get this tub through to the counter, go through those magazines. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 artworks, I think. That's an original. The next one probably is. Not sure if they're going to be of any value, but we'll check them out. Okay, before we get to the box of magazines, this was the first thing that fell our way. And it's a large thread cutting ratchet probably for plumbers. You would have, it looks like there's 3 sizes. There's one on the actual tool and there's 2 other heads there. I'd say they're probably 1, 3/4 and 1/2 inch sizes. British standard pipe thread, something like that. Looks complete, and it obviously was being used by the guy. It's pretty cool having a holder for it. I'll clean that up at home. We're going to get at least 50 bucks for it. I'll have to check out pricing, but very few people thread their own water pipe these days. However, it'd be handy in the workshop for someone. So maybe 50 bucks, I'll clean that up. So now we'll get into these magazines. I'll adjust the camera and we'll see what interesting stuff is in here. Okay, I think these probably came from the same place as the last lot we had, and I have sold a few of the last lot. I basically just went $5 each on them. Popular Science. Is there a date here? I think they were 50s or 60s. It says 25 cents, so I'm guessing it's US. This one's a bit tatty. It says January, I can't see a year. Might have been on the spine. Okay, so these are all Popular Science. 1947, 25 cents. So they must be US. Yeah, they're a bit earlier than I thought. Perhaps they go from 40s into the 50s. So Popular Science there. These are in much better condition than the last lot. I'll probably still just go $5 each on them. What I did with all the other ones that we had, there was lots missing their covers. I put them all out the front of the shop in a box for free, and they went. People grabbed them. Some people might like to frame up the artwork. This one's 1969. Look, jet-powered suits. That was the space age back then. That was like, you know, in 20 or 30 years, we'll be flying around the world and, you know, we'll have cars that won't need roads, and it didn't quite happen. Although it is actually getting there. It's just a bit later than what they were sort of anticipating. But now they're talking of drones now taking people around like a taxi in the air. So this is just after the war. This one isn't dated on the front either, but it's showing fighter planes there, so it's clearly not far after the war. That one doesn't have a cover. All right, so there's a few without covers, and I'll do the same as I did last time. All the ones without covers will be just free. Yeah, there's a great stack of them here, and there's some great ads in them, and probably, you know, really good articles. But I don't want to fill up the shop with low value stuff. Oh, these are Popular Mechanics according to the spine. And they all are missing covers. Maybe someone framed the covers, because there's some great artwork. 1946. That's one of the best things about these magazines, is the artwork on the covers. Anyway, they're all Popular Science. A 25-cent magazine for only 15 cents. Mechanics Handbook, September, 15 cents, yep. And there's some really nice artwork in there too. That's in really good condition. There's plans to build models. And that was, we don't have a date, but yeah, it was on the spine and that part's removed. I'm pretty sure that one would be 1940s. Advertising Camel cigarettes. Science and Mechanical, it's a bit, Science and Mechanics. Is that a VW combi van camper? How cool is that? I wonder if they'd realised back then whether people would be chasing the VW combi vans to turn back into campers. That's, I can't see a date on that one either. They're all going to be around 1940s, 1950s. I think that one's 35 cents, so probably a bit more recent. The price went up. Build yourself a racing cart. Science and Mechanics, July 1952. So these are in great condition. We should have no troubles getting $5 for these. I don't think they're worth eBaying. There's another one without a cover. In fact, it looks like the rest of the ones in the box here do not have covers. Oh, no, they've all been removed. So that's a bit of a shame. Someone will love these. I don't need to get some value for them all. Happy just to sell a few and pass the rest on. There's an ad for Texaco. 1946, there's a date on that one. All right, so I'm gonna put all the ones in this tub without covers, and they can go out the front for free next time we've got the shop open. And we've got a stack here. I reckon we've got at least 10 good ones, probably 15 good ones. So if we can get $5 each, we're going to get about 50 bucks back. So that's got that sorted out. Let's have a look at the artwork. Okay, we have 4 paintings here. This one's quite an early one. This one's, I got actually a price tag on this Must have been hanging in my old shop. I don't know why it ended up not being put into this shop. I got $45 on it. Circa 1920s original painting. These were often in pairs. Sometimes they had scenes of a large, what do you call them, a stag, like a moose or something like that, perched with a sunrise or a sunset or a big tree or on a mountain. Very similar sort of theme. So one of the sort of earlier formula paintings, often done by people selling them door to door. And this happened right back in the 1920s, I believe. So a bit of a formula. You have your classic tree on each side, mountains in the distance, water in the front. It's a bit of a theme, obviously. There's even some birds. It's painted fairly quickly, but it's quite effective. And this is a genuine 1920s one, so it's actually an antique painting. It's in an oak frame. 45, I think, still a fair price. It's nicer to have a pair. It probably would have. They often had them either side of a fireplace. But yeah, that's still in pretty good condition. You could hang that up in an old house and it would actually look magnificent. So $45 on that old painting. This one's much more modern. This one, again, is a formula painting. And again, you see the big tree each side, mountains in the distance, water at the front. It's a very common theme. The name here says, or it looks like it says H. Burns. That's a made-up name. These were often mass-produced in China. They still are, and they often used English-style names, sometimes done by university students to try and pay their way through uni. Very quickly painted. I've seen these painted. I've seen them painted in shopping plazas back in the 80s, and they knock them out in about 15-20 minutes. It's quite amazing how they do it. It's a skill. They're definitely talented. But if you look closely, the branches are all done basically with a stroke of the hand. The spider web's on it. The leaves are basically a certain brush that they just dab everywhere very quickly. And I guess they get quite skilled at placing it so it looks realistic. But quite often, if you look closely, there's bunches of leaves where there's no branches going to it. But they've got the texture nice. It is quite textured because they slap the oil paint on quite thick. And it's quite an effective painting. It's one of these paintings that the further back you get, the nicer it looks. One could say if you got back far enough and you couldn't see it, it's even better. But, you know, there's some merit to the artistic work. But, yeah, they were mass-produced and they're never going to be an investment painting. They're really just decorative. But that's in a nice gold frame. It's got like an MDF type board. Sometimes they're masonite, but usually by the 80s they went to this MDF on the back, and you could buy them from the shopping plazas and they were still wet when you took them home. So I think we'll probably put about $30 on that. It still looks quite okay on the wall. This next one's quite a bit older again. This looks like it's a pastel, maybe a watercolour. It's a bit hard to tell. It is signed and it looks like there's a date, 1920 something. It's a bit hard to read. I'll get a photo of that. Yeah, I think it's a watercolour by the look of the clouds and everything. I'd have to check the signature. I don't think it's going to be anything particularly valuable, but it's certainly an older piece. 1920s would be about right. I think that's just the size of it written on the back. And I'm probably just going to put about $30 on that one. I don't think it has enough going for it to, unless we can identify the artist as someone listed or well-known. Not quite your normal formula which you get on the quick other paintings. You still have the water and the mountains and the trees, but it's more of a natural type scene rather than balanced how the formula ones tend to go. So maybe about $30 on that, but I will try and find out the artist. This one I think is probably more of a hobbyist. Now, it's not a bad painting, I guess. It's quite Australian looking to my mind. Mountain ranges, gum trees perhaps, fields of grass. It looks like it says G. Clifford. I would expect that that's a hobbyist or a society painter, I think they would call them. And, oh, here we go, there's a name on the back. Oil on canvas across to, I can't read that, but I think it's, I'll take a photo of that. Here's the guy's name, it was Graham Clifford, and he's an artist, and it's, yeah, Turawina. which is a place in New South Wales. Judging by the postcode, I don't actually know it. But yep, that's probably what the scenery looks like up around there. Central New South Wales somewhere. So definitely a not a professional artist, but quite an effective one. No price on the back. Has got his business card, but it's a very old phone number that would date back to the 70s, early 80s perhaps. So there we go. Oh, perhaps it's got a barcode on the back of the board, so it wouldn't be any earlier than the 80s. So early 80s, I'd suggest. And value, again, maybe about $30. Who knows what he sold it for originally, but I think I'll try and get 30 for it. Okay, we'll finish up this episode now. I've got some serious work to do with these car manuals. Next episode, I think we'll start right up the top. I'm not sure if there's manuals, or I think there's other things up there in boxes, so we'll get that stuff down. Hopefully it's not heavy. That would have been silly to put heavy ones up the top there. Speaking of heavy, how heavy would this cupboard be? So wonder the floor hasn't sunk in this part of the shed. All right, so I'll sort some of these out. We'll still go through them on video because I know some of you guys are pretty interested in manuals. Some of you might have Fords that actually want a manual for it. I'll sort them out to separate the aftermarket stuff from the genuine Ford manuals. We'll go through them every so often in videos. I won't sort of hit you with all those at once. I've got this shelf moved around here where I can sort my Nissan manuals as I'm marketing them. I've come to work some days and it's like picking orders. I'm getting a lot of messages through Facebook groups, the specialist groups I joined, which is great. So we're selling quite a lot of those. I'll keep them going. Then once they're finished, I'll switch on to the Ford ones. But that'll be behind the scenes. Next episode here, well, other than the stuff up the top, we want to get back into these boxes over here, which look pretty interesting. Look, it's not going to be manuals. It's not going to be electrical stuff anymore. I'm pretty sure we finished that. It's not going to be, what else did we have a lot of? Not sure. There could be anything there. So join me soon. We'll get to those. We'll get the stuff off the top and we'll keep emptying this shed. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.